just 8 days to elections. President Granger announces introduction of public education grants. Guyanese welcomed the initiative, and discipline services cast their ballots. Stay with us as we take you through major stories covered from February 15 to 21, 2020. Tomorrow is our Golden Jubilee Republic anniversary. Thank you for joining us. Headlining the APNU AFC Coalition rally in Latham Region 9, His Excellency David Granger announced the coalition government's plans for continued investment in education through the introduction of the Public Education Assistance Scheme, or PEAK.
And we are going to launch, this is a new one, the Public Education Assistance Scheme. Some people call it the cash grants. But this will be a reward to parents who keep their children in school. If parents could show that their children have a high attendance record, they'll be paid for every day that child goes to school, up to the age of 15.
He highlighted that since assuming office in 2015, his administration has worked to improve access to education through the implementation of the Public Education Transportation Service and the Public Education Nutrition System. The head of state also shared his vision to ensure children all across Guyana are educated and provided with equal opportunities. President Granger described the Upper Takatu Upper Essequibo region, the largest in the country, as the most promising province and committed to ensuring its continued development.
We have a plan for environmental protection. We have a plan for Rupununi. And we are going to implement that plan more fully than we've been doing before. We are going to convert the promises that have been made into performance. We are going to convert the potential of this great region into production. We are to convert the villages which are languishing in poverty into villages which are enjoying prosperity.
Following his address, the head of state distributed several bicycles to children in the Rupununi as part of his 5Bs program.
Meantime, Guyanese are welcoming the government's announcement of the introduction of PEAK.
Following the announcement of the Public Education Assistance Key, commonly called the Cash Grant, InfoHub took its cameras to the streets to get the public's reaction. After speaking to several persons, it was evident that the initiative will be well received.
That's extremely good because we need all the children in school. We need to work on the children from young. So it's a good initiative, extremely good.
I think it's a good thing because a lot of parents would appreciate that.
It will be useful in their transportation-wise and more like getting school stuff and so.
It's a good initiative and it's going to help parents, especially single parents, to better manage themselves and provide better care and everything for their children.
On Saturday evening last, President David Granger announced plans to introduce PEAK as an incentive for parents who keep their children in school. If parents can show that their children have a high attendance record, they will be paid for every day that their child goes to school up to the age of 15.
Members of the disciplined services on Friday cast their ballots in what was described as a smooth process.
Members of the disciplined services today cast their ballots for the upcoming general and regional elections on March 2. This includes the Guyana Defense Force, the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Fire Service, and the Guyana Prison Service.
Commander-in-Chief President David Granger visited Camp Base Ayangana and the Police Officers Club Eve Leary, accompanied by Director General Joseph Harmon. The President said that the process is going smooth and he is pleased that the process started on time. He noted that his visit was not in any way to obstruct the voting process.
The process is smooth. It is proceeding without interruption, and I am very happy and very satisfied with the turnout. And I think the people of Guyana could be assured that the disciplined forces are performing their civic duty, and they're not being obstructed by the administration in any way. And the administration of the Election Commission seems to be functioning efficiently.
President Granger said come March 2 he expects a similar process as it relates to the smoothness of the voting process.
I expect that on the 2nd of March the national process will be equally satisfactorily executed by the Elections Commission, which has responsibility for that function.
Chief of Staff of the GDF, Brigadier Patrick West, was the first to cast his vote at Base Camp Ayangana, followed by other ranks. He noted that approximately 3,000 soldiers will be casting their ballots today with a turnout of 95%. The remainder, he said, will vote on March 2. The Chief of Staff noted that every rank has the right to vote for a political party of their choice, as every election is critical to the development of any nation.
Anybody can appeal to any citizen. At the end of the day, we're all citizens of Guyana, and we will all have those choices to make now and in the future. And I don't see anything wrong with political leaders sharing from their own platforms their own intentions about what they will do for Guyana.
Commissioner of Police Leslie James also cast his ballot and expressed his satisfaction with the easy flow of the voting process. Up to press time, he noted that no incident has been reported.
Reporting from Camp Base Ayangana, I am Isaiah Braffett with senior videographer Kwesi Wishart for InfoHub.
President David Granger on Monday evening unveiled the 50th Republic Anniversary commemorative stamps and gold medallion.
There are 4 stamps, each carrying their own illustration. The ceremonial mace, a reminder of our colonial past, the Liza Destiny, symbolizing our promising new future as an oil-producing nation, and faces of our peoples during Mashramani celebrations call to mind our 50 years as a republic, and elements that promote the growth of our mining industry through sustainable practices. President Granger said the attainment of Republican status was a defining moment in Guyana's history.
The act of becoming a republic allowed Guyana to exercise sovereignty over its own natural resources and to develop its own national symbols, including honors and awards, and with them, our priceless national pride that is part of our Guyaneseness. Commemorative coinage, stamps, and medallions celebrate the national heritage.
The head of state added that the commemorative stamps go further than celebrating the Golden Jubilee.
Postage stamps and gold coins have played a key role in Guyana's development. It is therefore fitting that the country, on this important 50th anniversary of the Republic, should be marked by the issuance of commemorative stamps and golden medallions.
The event was a collaboration between the Ministry of Public Telecommunications, which is responsible for Guyana Postal Services, and the Ministry of Natural Resources, under which the mining sector falls. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
The country's first 1 million barrels of crude was transferred on Wednesday onto the oil tanker Cap Felipe, which was chartered by Shell Western Supply and Trading Limited.
Director of Energy Dr. Mark Bino, who was on board the Liza Destiny, witnessed the transfer and deemed it a momentous occasion for Guyana.
This has been quite a momentous occasion, looking at where Guyana has come from for the last 4 years, 9 months, from the conceptualization of this project to actual fruition where we begin to see production. Guyana is having her first 1 million barrels lift, and given the fact that it's our first lift, it was important for us not only to see this dream becoming a reality, but also to bring the level of assurance to Guyanese that it's no more just a concept, it's actually a reality.
He emphasized that this does not include the 2% royalty, which would be paid on gross productions.
This 1 million is part of our profit oil allocation. It does not include the 2% royalty which would be paid on gross production. So even though we're having a 1 million barrel lift, in this particular instance, we are also receiving 2% on all oil that is being produced. This gets us away from the perception that all Guyana is getting under this contract is 2% royalty. And I'm happy to see that Guyana is entitled to approximately 5 million barrels of oil in 2020 alone, plus the 2% royalty.
The offloading takes between 20 to 36 hours, and the process is expected to be completed on Wednesday.
In a bid to accelerate efforts to reduce carbon emissions, the coalition government has acquired its first electric vehicle through the Guyana Energy Agency.
We have been very pleased with the experience of this vehicle. It's fully electric. It's a 40 kilowatt hour battery. 40 kilowatt hour gives about 150 driving miles, which is about 240 kilometers on a single charge. I've been driving it with AC for the last 3 weeks, and I've been getting about 144 kilometers on a single charge.
Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Energy Agency, Dr. Mahendra Sharma. The CEO explained the financial benefits of the electric car.
We compared it against what I was driving before, the Suzuki Vitara. The Suzuki Vitara gives a mileage of about 4 kilometers per liter. The mileage on this is about 4.5 kilometers per kilowatt hour. When we did the conversions and the comparisons, the Vitara was costing us 50 Guyana dollars per kilometer, while this one, with the regular GPL tariffs that we pay at GEA, costs just about 10 Guyana dollars per kilometer.
The GEA head says recommendations will be made to government to place an electric vehicle in every ministry. It is already proposed for charging stations to be built in parts of the country. Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable David Patterson, who inspected the vehicle, says this is part of government's commitment to the realization of the Green State Development Strategy, Vision 2040.
Going green is not just about renewable energy. This is just another step into our commitment to go entirely green. So we just, as you said, we're putting our money where our mouth is.
Reporting on board government's first electric vehicle with videographer Keon Blaze, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
Continuing on its successful record of curbing the high incidences of piracy on the Corentyne River, President David Granger is assuring that his government will bring a complete end to the robberies at sea.
Under the previous administration, piracy on the Corentyne River was at an all-time high. Hundreds of Guyanese fishermen perished at the hands of their attackers. Speaking at another coalition rally in Corriverton on the Corentyne Tuesday evening, President Granger said it was under his government and a rigorous public security sector that the incidences have been made almost non-existent.
From the time we got in, there were so many piracy attacks. Housewives didn't know if the husband's coming back home. Fishermen didn't know if they'd see the wife again.
Understanding the gravity of the situation, the president said the government commenced a rigorous program of maritime patrols, which saw a significant decline in the crime.
We practically abolished piracy. Many of the pirates went over to Suriname, and they killed many Guyanese fishermen. And Dr. Rishi Thakur from this region, Region 6, last week presented his report, and we will implement that report. But the APNU AFC government will abolish piracy in Region 6.
President Granger said the Regional Action Plan for Security will create a safe place in the region. The head of state said the great region with its 3 towns is a commercial powerhouse. However, like other regions and communities, it remains stagnant because of political forces. To this end, he again urged residents to change the face of the region through their votes for the coalition on March 2. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
History was created on Thursday when the coalition government commissioned the first immigration and passport office in Upper Demerara Berbice at a cost of $38 million.
The office was constructed by Arbasu & Sons, and the equipment, which forms part of the immigration system, was acquired at a cost of more than $7 million. According to Minister of Citizenship, the Honorable Winston Felix, government's intervention significantly alters colonial ways which were imposed on the public.
And His Excellency's vision to decentralize government services to capital towns is now manifesting itself in events such as this, and which must be coupled with the Department of Lands and Surveys, which has established offices in regions 9 and 10.
Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, said the commissioning of the new facility will enhance the lives of all Guyanese regardless of their location or religious and political affiliations.
We have committed ourselves to ensuring that government service is taken to the people and that the people don't have to go looking and searching for government service. We recognized very early that there are certain things which affect the lives of every Guyanese, and therefore there had to be a decentralization. There had to be a decentralization in governance. There had to be a decentralization in public service.
The residents welcomed the new facility.
Well, as a resident in Linden, having a passport department here, I think is a good thing because in the future, many times you have to go to town to get these things done, and you don't always have that extra cash for paying for the passage, and then you always got to find the money and the taxi money on the stop, So I think it's a great happening in Linden, and I think a lot of people here would appreciate it.
I see this as a blessing to Linden because I personally would have experienced taking my children down to Georgetown, leaving at 4 or sometimes 3:30 to join the line. And as one of the speakers would have said, that sometimes you get up to the line and you hear they're closed for the day. And that used to be very stressful because when you have to take a family of 5 down to Georgetown to get it done, consider the amount of money you have to pay, consider the time and preparing before you leave at 3:30. That was very tough for us.
Upon completion, the building was put into service on July 30, 2019 to test the equipment and effectiveness of the staff. During that period, 2,623 applications were successfully processed. Reporting for InfoHub, Natasha Smith.
Aimed at spotlighting the country's journey to its republic status, the Department of Social Cohesion on Tuesday officially launched the Republic Golden Jubilee exhibition at the National Museum.
According to Director of Culture Tamika Boswin, the exhibition is hosted with this year's Mashimani theme, Guyana Together, Reflect, Celebrate and Transform, in mind to ensure all interested will have a better understanding of the country's history.
It seeks to reflect on the history and achievements of the Republic, to look at the Mashimani celebrations and their relationship to the Republic, and now, 50 years later, how Guyana is being transformed by oil.
Present at the opening ceremony was Minister within Ministry of Social Protection, the Honourable Keith Scott, Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland, students and others. Also present was former Mayor of Georgetown, Hamilton Green, who said that this moment for the country is a time of reflection and introspection. These include the struggle the country faced that led to our independence in 1966 and plans moving forward to ensure citizens are the sole beneficiaries from the economy.
The third category which we celebrate today is that next bold step. Taking into account the 2 first ones is to have a process of what we call decolonization, so that these people who are now constitutionally free will have freedom in their heads. Very often you release a person, even animals, from their chains, but they remain attached to the former master in some strange way.
The invitees were treated to a musical presentation from the National Steel Orchestra, Calypsonian Nehira Nulan, and a dance number which spotlighted the country's people, history, and legacy. The exhibition will run until March 18th. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
His Excellency David Granger on Thursday recommissioned Ramphal House, which is dedicated to Sir Sridat Ramphal, Guyana's second Minister of Foreign Affairs.
In his address, the head of state highlighted that Sir Sridhar Rampal is one of Guyana's most distinguished Foreign Service members who continues to serve the nation.
The Cooperative Republic of Guyana considers it fitting that this institute, dedicated to educating our country's cadets and diplomats, should be named after you, Sir Sridhar, one of the architects of Guyana's foreign relations.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Dr. Karen Cummings, gave a brief history on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
In a sense, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in physical terms, has always been evolving. As we approached independence, the British government recognized the need to create an institution to carry out the external policies of the new state of Guyana. Accordingly, they created the Department of External Affairs, which is housed in the public buildings. A number of our outstanding diplomats began their careers in the fledgling institution. These include Mr. Rashley Jackson, one of the longest serving and respected foreign affairs ministers in the Western Hemisphere, as well as Mr. Rudy Intonali, who was one of his successors. The new Ministry of Foreign Affairs was confronted with a need to create the relevant structures to respond to the security threats of the nation and its participation in the national development of the country.
Apart from the Protocol Department, the building also houses the Foreign Services Institute and the Ministry's Library. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
The President also commissioned the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation's refurbished staff quarters.
The President noted that the achievement of a list of health targets and goals is dependent on the quality of public health personnel. He added that the rehabilitation of the staff quarters lends to more efficient and effective service delivery from doctors and other key personnel.
Doctors, as the profession demands, work on call, and it is always desirable if they can reside somewhere where they will be able to respond more quickly to their calls. The staff quarters, which we are rededicating today, are just a short distance away from the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. And it will make it easier for doctors maybe to jog to work or to respond more quickly to emergencies.
The facility was rehabilitated at a cost of $282 million, being upgraded from a 19-apartment to a 41-apartment facility. The rehabilitation commenced in 2017 after the GPHC administration saw it fitting to have work done on the building, which was in dire need of repairs after doctors were told to vacate in 2012.
I am delighted that this project has been finally realized. And I am quite certain that with the now spanking apartment building, facilitating ample placement and accommodation for our staff and also for the members of our Cuban brigade, the Ministry of Public Health and the citizens of Guyana can look forward to the optimizing of services in Georgetown and its environs.
Having such a facility rehabilitated will now result in at least $20 million being saved annually by the corporation, which is usually incurred for rental and accommodation for staff. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
Ogle is the site for another proposed internationally branded hotel. This time, it is the Hilton Hotel.
Finance Minister Winston Jordan described this event as a momentous one for the coalition government, particularly given its challenges since taking office some 4.5 years ago. He welcomed the more than $100 million investment, noting that it will significantly boost the green economy.
Guyana, Minister Jordan stated, is open for business.
The tourism and hospitality sector is key priority area in our government's ambitious drive for economic diversification. So we will continue to harness and promote its potential. Guyana definitely is on the rise.
US-based Guyanese businessman Edmund Braffett is behind the $100 million investment. He explained that his group's intention originally was to purchase the Marriott in Kingston, Georgetown, but after this deal fizzled, another investment was sought.
He noted that it will define local content.
It is Guyanese who put this entire proposal together. It was Guyanese who saw it from the beginning to the end. So you should give yourselves a round of applause for that.
Braffett's business partner and Chief Executive Officer of Energy Real Estate Solutions, Mike Elliott, brings to the CMEI years of experience and the resources of 7 international offices with a focus on emerging markets.
This project would not be possible without the involvement of the local community. We look forward to participating in the vast job creation that this master plan project will generate, as well as developing an international investment platform which Guyana can benefit from.
For the head of NISIL, Calvin Heath London, the investment is another sign that Guyanese can have full confidence in the abilities of his agency.
We at NISIL and all Guyana will one day look back at the events of the last 2 weeks and celebrate our confidence, which pushed us to take bold but perceptive decisions which have yielded totally gratifying rewards.
From Ogle for the salt turning of the latest hotel, the Hilton. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
A trust fund for the restoration of City Hall was officially launched by the Georgetown Mayor and City Council on Wednesday.
The cost to renovate the iconic edifice is estimated at almost $1 billion. Mayor of Georgetown, His Worship Ubaj Narain, said a special committee was started to assist in the setting up and management of the trust fund, and after numerous deliberations, he is extremely happy that the launch finally came to reality.
It is something that bleeds my heart to see that one of our historic buildings is falling apart. And I believe that this is the way all of us, not the mayor, the councillors, administration alone can do it. I call on the private sector, civil society, the chambers of commerce, businesses, in the international community. I call upon every Guyanese here and abroad to play the role to save City Hall building.
The European Union had previously contributed some $60 million for the financing of the project's feasibility study. Ambassador of the delegation for the Union, His Excellency Pons Canto, pledged his continued support towards assisting the municipality.
This initial work was done. I'm very happy about that. But this was already done some time ago. And I think I want to say today very clearly that it is very urgent that the conclusions of the study are implemented. And once again, I'm very happy and grateful, Mr. Mayor, that you and your team have organized this meeting today, this event, and this collection of funds. It is essential that others also do their share.
At the launch, approximately $5.2 million was pledged, with Impressions being the largest donor. For persons interested in contributing towards the renovation project, monies can be deposited into the Demerara Bank account 4023313. For InfoHub, I am Kellon Rover.
Since the operationalization of a $370 million pump station at Buxton Friendship on the east coast of Demerara, the communities have not experienced any flooding.
The station commenced operation in December 2018, and according to resident Shamal Grant, there has been a big difference in the drainage of water.
Getting to work, getting to school, it was just a mess. Yeah, you couldn't, transportation out was, it was really hard and really weird, It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Since the pump established, we haven't get the kind of, moment of a flood.
Andrew Cummings and Ann Helliger are both residents of the Buxton Friendship catchment area. The duo said that the pump is a huge asset to the community.
This project by the government, by the current government, is a very good project, and we very much appreciate it. Well, it was very hard to commute through the community. If there had any emergency, someone was very sick or ill, those ambulance or fire service, emergency vehicle, they were very confined to just the main road. And due to this establishment of this drainage pump again, we don't have those problems.
It used to take like 4 or 5 days for the water to get off the land.
right? But since we got the pump, we have no problem.
The pump serves more than 5,000 residents, including 100 farmers. It covers some 712 hectares. The project is among many undertaken by the coalition government through the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority to ensure systems are in place to discharge larger quantities of water within a short space of time. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
This has been InfoHub Recap, which looked at major stories carried from February 15 to 21, 2020. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Also, do take some time to review the Diaspora Digest and other publications found on our website. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend, and Mashramani as one people, one nation with one destiny. Goodbye for now.